Radio What Studios, and this is my podcast, What Makes You Smarter? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know, I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Let me entertain you. Are you not entertained? Oh, I'm just having fun. I'm having fun as I'm recording this today, Wednesday. I do have one public show this week, the Cedar Lounge. That's usually on Thursday nights. Cedar Lounge Bar and Grill in Morrilton, Arkansas, on Thursday nights is being postponed. I think they're doing some fall cleaning, so they've assured me that by next Thursday it will reopen. But have no fear, there is one public show that I still have going on, and that is the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. You know the Rab. You know the place to be. The Rab in Conway, Arkansas. That's the video dance party karaoke jam. They got the full bar. The kitchen's open. Pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday night. So if you want to try to make some money on a Friday night, I encourage you to check out the Rab. Yeah, the place to be on a Friday night. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I did say karaoke. So yeah, you're the stars of the show. You'll be right next to me. But you know, when you're walking in, we are taking care of each other. So wear a mask on the way in, wear a mask while you're walking around, while you're interacting with people. But when you're sitting down, having your drinky drinks and having your good food, you can take the mask off. You know, it's just that simple. I don't know if this COVID-19 is bad. I don't know if it's good. I know people are dying, you know, but people die from other things too. So I don't know. I just got to trust the scientists. They say to wear a mask. I'll wear a mask. Okay, I'll do it because they're a lot smarter than me. I can almost assuredly guarantee that most of those scientists are smarter than me. They know what they're doing. All right. I was kind of hoping that COVID-19 will be done after the election. You know, at least the politicization seems like it's starting to die down a little bit, maybe a little bit. I guess maybe after all the votes are counted and we have a clear idea of who the president is. I mean, I know Joe Biden, he's been called the president-elect, but Donald Trump's not going down without a fight. Get those votes counted, and you know, don't count those votes over there that are voted for the other guy. Count only the votes that are over here for me. Hey, never go down without a fight. He's no punk. Mm-mm. Say what you will about Donald Trump. He's no punk. He ain't taking it without a fight. Oh my goodness. It's a weird world that we're living in. All right. How you doing? Everything good? How you holding up? You know what's funny is I did what I shouldn't do. You know, people that really don't want to know how you're doing, they'll say, "You good? You good?" That's the standard. You good? They don't really want to know what you're up to. They don't want to know. I see Stephen Gubbs out there. Stephen Gubb, he's always sharing these things. I appreciate that so much. You put a little share on there, put a little like, put a little love on my stuff, man. Stephen Gubb is the man. He makes rum. You know, whenever I'm doing rum commercials, I got to do it in my Spanish accent. Rum, Gubba rum. Ask for it by name. Gubba rum. Yeah, Stephen Gubb. Look for him on Facebook and find out more about his Gubba rum. I had him on the podcast. He is a pretty cool guy to talk to. I'll tell you that for nothing. He was good. He's an interesting cat, man, and he knows a lot about rum. And he's got these at least 2 flavored rums called Gubba Rum. So, yeah, I guess this portion of the podcast brought to you by Gubba Rum. I got to show him some love because he's always showing me love. He's always sharing my my little podcast, my little video interludes that I do. Even though right now it really is a podcast about nothing. All right. If you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, 10 things you need to know today for Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. 10 things you need to know today. Number 1, Biden calls Trump refusal to concede an embarrassment. President-elect Joe Biden on Tuesday vowed to, quote, get right to work, end quote, and dismissed President Trump's refusal to concede defeat in last week's election as, quote, inconsequential, end quote. He also said Trump's actions were an, quote, embarrassment, end quote, to the United States. Trump is making unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud, and the Trump administration is blocking Biden from receiving intelligence briefings and federal funding traditionally provided to incoming presidents. A Reuters Ipsos poll found that 80% of Americans, including more than half of Republicans, recognized that Biden won the November 3rd election, once nearly every media outlet called the race for the former vice president. The race remained too close to call in Arizona and Georgia, but Biden leads in both and has enough electoral votes to win without them. This is according to the Associated Press and Reuters. Number 2, conservative justices appear to oppose striking down health law. 2 conservative Supreme Court justices, Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Brett Kavanaugh, on Tuesday expressed skepticism about Republican states' calls to strike down the Affordable Care Act. Republican state attorneys general argued that the whole law should be invalidated since Congress has eliminated the individual mandate to acquire insurance that was at the heart of the law. Kavanaugh said he, quote, tends to agree, end quote. The mandate could simply be removed and the law allowed to stand, and called it, quote, fairly clear, end quote, that precedent allowed for only cutting out the mandate. Roberts said some lawmakers might have hoped the high court would strike down the whole law, but dismantling the law is not the high court's, quote, job, end quote. If Roberts and Kavanaugh side with the court's 3 liberal justices, the health care law will survive the challenge. Cruz Brinker, you need to watch Newsmax. Oh, you need to watch Newsmax and quit listening to all that other garbage, man. I just might do that, man. I'm trying to find some reputable news sources, and these are the 10 things that get curated for me daily. So I just read them out loud, and you make with them what you will. So Cruz Brinker, he suggests that you watch Newsmax and quit listening to all that other garbage. I will probably check it out. And now that I've said it, hopefully some other people will check it out as well. I say go, find your news source. Don't stay with one news source, but certainly, find different sources, reputable sources of information. All right. Number 3. COVID-19 hospitalizations hit record level. New U.S. coronavirus cases continued to rise on Tuesday, surpassing 139,000 for the first time as COVID-19 hospitalizations in the country rose to a record high 61,964. The number of people hospitalized rose above the previous high of 59,940 set on April 15th, after the total more than doubled since September. Hospitalizations quickly fell after peaking in April, but public health experts do not expect the numbers to fall this time as winter approaches and new cases continue to rise. The U.S. has confirmed more than 100,000 cases every day for a week, pushing the 7-day average to more than 123,000. More than 1,440 coronavirus deaths were reported in the U.S. on Tuesday, lifting the nation's death toll to nearly 240,000. This is according to the New York Times. Number 4, McConnellSchumer earn another term as Senate party leaders. Republicans and Democrats reelected their leaders for the next Senate on Tuesday, although it remained unclear whether Republican Mitch McConnell, Kentucky, or Democrat Chuck Schumer, New York, would serve as majority leader. That question won't be settled until January, when Georgia's 2 incumbent senators, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, face runoffs against their Democratic rivals, John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock. McConnell was reelected as the party's Senate leader in a unanimous vote a week after winning a 7th term. Schumer and the rest of the Democrats' leadership were reelected by acclamation to stay and in their posts. Quote, "We're ready to get going, even though there's some suspense about whether we'll be in the majority or not," end quote, McConnell said. This is according to the Washington Post. Second here. Bear with me. Trying to make sure that I'm running live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So I'm trying to keep track and make sure that I pay attention at least to the Facebook comments and the Twitch comments. YouTube, yeah. I can't have that many screens up. I'm trying to read the news here. All right. Number 5, Pompeo says transition will be smooth to second Trump administration. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo asked about Trump administration's resistance to cooperating with President-elect Joe Biden's transition team, suggested that Biden would not be taking office at all. Quote, "There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration," end quote, Pompeo said in a news conference. Pressed on that question, Pompeo made it clear that he did not believe that the election had been settled yet, but he said the winner would be sworn in next January on schedule. Biden won the popular vote by nearly 5 million votes, with nearly all ballots counted, and has been projected the winner of more than enough electoral votes to win. Critics called Pompeo's remarks reckless. Former Obama administration official Ben Rhodes said U.S. diplomats criticize remarks like Pompeo's, quote, "from foreign officials whose party lost elections," end quote. This is according to Politico and Ben Rhodes. Number 6, Vatican report says Pope John Paul II knew about McCarrick sexual abuse. A Vatican internal report found that the late Pope John Paul II rejected warnings of sexual misconduct in allegations against Theodore McCarrick, an American prelate who was elevated to the Catholic Church's highest ranks before being defrocked in disgrace 2 decades later. The report detailed how McCarrick rose to power despite rumors and even written evidence of his sexual misconduct and abuse of seminarians, priests, and teen boys. While placing much of the blame on John Paul II, the investigation also says that Pope Benedict XVI tried to keep the McCarrick scandal quiet, and that Pope Francis assumed his predecessors had handled the case correctly. The church has been confronting the fallout from its broader sexual abuse crisis for years, but the report marked a new level of openness about the cover-up of abusive priests' crimes. This is according to the Washington Post. Number 7, Democratic challenger concedes North Carolina Senate race. Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham conceded the North Carolina Senate race on Tuesday, a week after the votes. Cunningham said in a statement that he called to congratulate incumbent Senator Tom Tillis, Republican North Carolina, on his reelection, effectively ending the tight contest. The state is still counting votes, but Cunningham has no realistic chance of erasing Tillis's narrow lead. Decision Desk HQ called the race for Tillis earlier in the day, although many news outlets had yet to project a winner. Tillis's victory gives the GOP 49 Senate seats. The party will likely reach 50 seats when Alaska finishes tallying ballots. That means the 2 January runoffs in Georgia, as expected, will determine which party controls the upper chamber in the next Congress. This is according to the Associated Press. Number 8, Hong Kong pro-democracy lawmakers resign after 4 expelled. Pro-democracy lawmakers in Hong Kong resigned en masse on Wednesday to protest the expulsion of 4 of their colleagues, effectively leaving Hong Kong's legislature without political opposition for the first time since British handed over control of the territory to China in 1997. The 4 sitting pro-democracy lawmakers, who included the accountant Kenneth Leung and liberal pro-democratic party leader Alvin Young, were disqualified under a directive from Beijing, which has been cracking down on opposition in the former British colony. The directive bypassed Hong Kong's court and political system in the latest in a series of challenges to its autonomy, despite long-standing promises to let the city control its own affairs until 2047. This is according to CNN and the Washington Post. Number 9, Russia says coronavirus vaccine 92% effective. Russia's Sovereign Wealth Fund said Wednesday that interim trial results indicated that the country's Sputnik V vaccine is 92% effective at protecting against COVID-19. Russia registered a vaccine candidate for public use in August, making it the first vaccine in the world to receive such approval. But the large-scale trial didn't start until September. The initial results came days after Pfizer and BioNTech reported that their vaccine candidate was more than 90% effective in its trials. Russia's interim results were based on data from the first 16,000 participants to receive both required doses of the vaccine. Quote, "We are showing, based on the data, that we have a very effective vaccine," end quote, said Kirill Dmitriev, head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, which is backing and marketing the vaccine. This is according to Reuters. Number 10, Pennsylvania postal worker recants claim of backdated late ballots. Pennsylvania postal worker Richard Hopkins has recanted his claim that the Erie, Pennsylvania postmaster told workers to backdate mail-in ballots that arrived after Election Day. According to House Democrats, Republicans had cited Hopkins' allegations as a reason for challenging President-elect Joe Biden's win in the crucial swing state. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican South Carolina, touted Hopkins' claims in a letter to the Justice Department urging an investigation. Attorney General William Barr subsequently told prosecutors to investigate credible allegations of voting fraud. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee announced that Hopkins signed an affidavit recanting his claims when questioned by a U.S. Postal Service Inspector General. The New York Times reported that it had contacted election officials in every state, and none found evidence of fraud that affected election results. This is according to The Hill and the New York Times. That's 10 things you need to know today for Wednesday, November 11th, 2020. Thank you so much for listening. This has been What Makes You Smarter. I'm Keys Dan. Hi. Trying to fill my head with knowledge, find out some stuff, make sure that I stay up on current events. That's mostly what I've been using the What Makes You Smarter podcast for. And if you want to take the journey along with me, why not? I've been posting these videos on the daily. Mostly I post them a little later at night. I'm a little later than usual. Usually around 7:30 or so is when I've been posting them, or 7, I guess around 7. But yeah, it's a weird world we're living in. What do you think? I want to know. I really want to know what you think. You could drop some comments. If you want to call 501-470-6386 and leave a message, I may just play it on a future podcast, on a future episode of What Makes You Smarter. And if you want to tell your whole story, or at least a good part of your story, if you want to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find that everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. And if you want to watch me play video games, oh yeah, you can do that too. Hashtag Keys Dan Gaming. I'm on Twitch as Keys Dan, and I'm on Facebook Gaming as Keys Dan Gaming. Yeah. How you doing? Everything good? No, really. I want to know. When I say how you're doing, I want to know. How's the fam? How's the kid? You still got that thing on the thing? Or did the doctor take care of that thing? You got the thing? No. All right. All right, that's enough of my nonsense. Let's go play some video games, maybe. Oh, wait. Let's see what I have somebody on Twitch here. Want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on this link. I bet you I'm not going to click that link. You want to buy some followers. Really? Come on, man. I'll just get them organically, or I won't. It doesn't matter if anybody follows me. Really. If you want to follow me, go ahead. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm just doing this for me. And while I'm at it, if you want to listen, you can too. But please don't make me the only source of news. In fact, I mentioned earlier, I was on Facebook, and Cruz Brinker, husband of the famous Anna Brinker, country music singer extraordinaire, said, watch Newsmax. So I may check out that Newsmax. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make a little Google search on that. Find out what Newsmax is. There we go. Newsmax. Breaking news. Newsmax.com. And I am in no way sponsored by Newsmax. In fact, I get my my news mostly from The Week. And they usually curate different news sources. The Associated Press, Reuters, Washington Post, New York Times, that kind of thing. I've heard that Politico. I've heard that The Hill is pretty good for news. Anybody read The Hill? I need to check that out. And but I do always give the footnotes for all the little news items that I talk about on the 10 things you need to know today. So make sure that you look up on those news items and find out more. Don't take my word for it. Do not. Always do your research. Find out more. All right. Well, I'm trying to look at newsmax.com, and I guess a bunch of people are looking at it, because I certainly cannot get that thing to run. Breaking news. Yeah, maybe my computer's about to die. All right, that's it for me. On that note, on that word die. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, some of the Newsmax. Let's see. Top story is Trump backs McDaniel to remain RNC chair. Source says it may be prelude to 2024 run. And this is this from today? I guess it's from today. President Donald Trump on Wednesday endorsed Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel to stay in her position in what one source said could be a prelude to Trump's announcing plans to run for president in 2024 should his challenges to the November 3rd election fail. He could announce a next run by year's end, the source said. Oh, okay. Told you that man's not going down without a fight. He'll go down punching. Pow, pow, pow. Even if he does lose this election, he just might run again in 2024. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Go for it. Or other sources have said he's going to start a whole media empire and kick everybody to the curb. It'll be another thing that he has Trump all over. So maybe you'll be watching Trump TV or Trump media or Trump radio. Who knows? Who knows what's in store? All right. So I did look at Newsmax just as it was suggested to me. I appreciate that. Always looking for the news. Always looking for other sources. So thank you, Cruz Brinker. I know I'm giving him a lot of credit, but give credit where credit is due. Always help people out. Hey, in fact, once you take care of yourself and you got yourself in order, try to help somebody else if you can. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace.